The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's off. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see myself. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh my
lovely.
God.
I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Alright, cool. Thank you. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Korner Booth podcast. I'm your host, Jared Clem. I would do the ladies and gentlemen thing, but honestly, I'm like, today's just been a weird day. I'm a little annoyed in cursing the Bears' existence. Jalen Hurts, of course, the breaking news he might miss next week. The best part about it is if it was like Josh McCown or, I mean, listen, Josh McCown's a hero in Philadelphia. If it was like Josh McCown or freaking like Kevin Cobb or some slack jaw fucking backup, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, all right, whatever. I'm not watching the game on Christmas. It's Gardner Minshew, baby. I put this. There's a meme going around. It's like, hey, Dallas, good luck against this man next week. I will rephrase that. Dallas, good luck against that man with those weapons next week. The best receiver that man had in Jacksonville was DJ Chark. There's 2.5 receivers and a tight end better than him on that roster, not to mention 2 decent running backs. Also, the Eagles defense is fully healthy. I mean, I'm not saying the Eagles got a chance, but I'll take that fucking money line. Fuck yeah, we're 4-point dogs already.
Especially if they make you guys the underdogs, and it's like
We
plus
already are.
anything.
Even before the Hurts news broke, it was like an hour before the Hurts news broke. I think we were already a 3-point dog on the road. So I said, fuck it. This is going to be my upset pick this week. I don't give a fuck. I'm rolling with the bunches here, baby.
When you make your same game parlay on that game, I would definitely add a Dak Prescott turnover. Because lately he's been throwing an interception game.
I see a Darius Slay pick 6 in the future.
Yeah.
Also, I think
another one.
We won't get CJ back for that game. We may start Anthony Harris next week. The dinosaur himself. He's back. I don't know. It should be interesting. I mean, listen, I could bitch him all I want. It's a max 2-week injury. Worst case, he just sits the rest of the season which would F me in the fantasy playoffs. But this way, I'd have to win my fantasy playoffs with Geno Smith and Gardner Minshew. But listen, I've fought back from worse odds before. It's okay. But listen, I could be worse off today. I could be a Patriots or Jets fan. So
That you could.
it's not even knocks at you guys, man. I just felt bad for both of you last night. Like the Patriots, I saw them get to like, all right, that shit's back to normal. We're good. And then I look over.
Just don't remind me, man. Do not remind me at all.
These two goons are blowing my phone up while I'm driving home. And I'm like, Jared, this is how you lost. This is how you got your license taken away the first time. Don't even look. So I get home. I open up Instagram. What's the first fucking thing I see? It's on McAfee's Instagram. Is Chandler Jones stiff-arming Mac Jones into the netherworld and running the touchdown back? Oh, my God. And I got to watch. It was an amazing weekend of football yesterday. I can honestly say that. I don't think there was a single bad game. Like at least like a blowout. I think everything was within a score.
Yeah, it was a great week of football, even for our teams that have lost. Like it's still exciting back-to-back games. I'm watching the Patriots Raiders games. I'm like, all right, classic Belichick coming back from behind, got the lead, tie it up, And which somebody actually showed an angle of that touchdown in the end zone where they're facing them, not like above or to the side. Like when you're actually facing them, it does look like his foot is in bounds, just barely. But from the overhead view, it did look like his toe was in the white. So I figured it was going to go either way. But very out of pocket for Bill Belichick not to kneel that ball 3 seconds left to take it into overtime. Very out of pocket. He's usually a play it safe guy. Let's go win the coin toss and drive it down the field. I saw Ramondre run. I thought he was just going to get taken down, maybe slide or try and get some yards. I saw the lateral and like, oh, they're actually going for it. Okay. And the crazy part was when you watch the replay, Jacoby Myers is blatantly looking at Mac Jones as he's running 10, 15 yards backwards and still throws it to him with Chandler Jones right there. And I'm like, he's actually has visual of both guys and he still makes that throw. And then Mac Jones, I tried to bring him down. But, I mean, Chandler Jones has got 100 pounds on that guy.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure Jacoby Myers cleared concussion protocol. I don't know what was going through his head. You just watch the replay. There were lots of different angles that circulated on Twitter and various other outlets. And from whatever angle you look at it, I mean, any way you want to think about it, I just don't know what's going through his head. And I personally refuse to believe that that's how Belichick drew it up. But I don't understand. And I guess he kind of touched on it post game. I mean, they've got to be better. They have to be more aware in situational sort of instances like that. I mean, you just don't do that. If you lose an OT, you lose an OT, tough loss, whatever. But to lose like that, I mean, it's awful. It's absolutely gut wrenching.
Especially if you're given the fact, if you just kneel it and take it to overtime, like let's say the Patriots win, like they were holding that 7th wild card spot or that 7th seed. So all you had to do is just play it safe, take it into overtime and get the win.
Right.
You would have just secured that spot. So I know Bill Belichick's not the kind of guy that's going to throw his guys under the bus. I just refuse to believe that was a play drawn up by him.
I'm with you. I'm entirely with you. And obviously the bigger implication is that the playoff chances drastically decreased with that loss. I think if they would have won that game, the playoff chances would have gone from like around 50 to like 70 something. And with the loss, I think it drops from around 50 to like 20 something. So I mean, and they've got the Bengals, Miami, and then Bills on the road. So, unless you probably win out and you get some help from the Chargers losing, it's very unlikely that they finish in a playoff spot. So it's just horrible all the way around. And awful.
Yeah. And two of the 3 opponents that the Chargers have left are Indianapolis and Denver. So you can already bank on them winning at least 2 more games.
And do you know, Matt, off the top of your head who their last game is? I want to say I heard that everyone they're playing has a losing record as of right now. So, I mean, hey, the Chargers have not looked great. I really like Herbert, but I'm still not sold on. Okay, so they got Colts, Rams, Broncos to finish the year. Theoretically, should all be wins, but hey, man, I mean, it's the NFL. So, as we all know, anything can happen. Hopefully, they drop a couple games, maybe Mayfield, some magic against them. And, hey, the Colts should have won that game on Saturday. So I don't know. I got to think about it optimistically.
I don't think Russ played this past week, right? It was Brett Ripien or something.
Yeah, it was. Russ was out.
I mean, they put up a lot of points in that, or they put up a good amount of points in that game and they won. So maybe no Russ is what they're going to need.
That'd be crazy if they just benched him for Brett Ripien. Oh my gosh, that would just be.
This is the NFL. This NFL season has just been absolutely insane. I think Nate Burleson said it best at Good Morning Football this morning when he came on. He was like, "Dude, this has been the drunkest NFL season of all time. Like nothing makes sense anymore." We saw like literally the greatest comeback in NFL history. We saw a team in the Bears who is now their 7th straight like loss, but it's all been by less than 2 touchdowns. We have the Cowboys blow a 21-point lead and lose on a kicked pick 6. We have the Chargers and the Chiefs, Cowboys, and Eagles almost all losing to the damn Texans. The only teams they can't beat are the ones they should have a shot in. Or the only teams they can't compete with are the ones they should compete with. And we had a game last night where we had a lateral that got intercepted by a 6'6" defensive end. We've had extra points. We've had teams go on wild runs. We have teams choking away playoff spots. It has been the most intense, out of control, and crazy NFL season. Now you throw in the league's MVP or one of the MVP frontrunners is now going to miss at least a game, if not more, with a shoulder sprain because the dickhead from the Bears landed on him when, you didn't have to. You're already bringing him to the ground, you douchebag. But it's okay. Your career is going to be meaningless because you play in a shithole team like the Bears. So just a little annoyed, but, whatever. But we got a lot of good stuff. We got Monday Night Football. We got Baker Mayfield versus Aaron Rodgers. And the fact of the matter is this game actually might be kind of fun. Also, this game has some interesting connotations to my fantasy league. Our friend of the show, former co-host Pat Donahue, is taking on other former co-host and friend of the show, Kevin of Tailgate in the Quad, in our semifinal on the other side of the bracket. I, of course, pre-show told you guys how I kicked the guy I was playing's head in that game. I beat him 220 to 160 was the official final score. And, yeah. Listen, dude had a great team. It's just everybody on my team scored at least 11 points or more. So it just kind of, but so Pat needs Christian Watson to score below 11 points, and he advances to the final against me.
I don't know if you
Jalen Ramsey locking up Christian Watson.
Yeah, but Christian Watson's last 4 games, he's averaging 24 points a game in fantasy. I think
streaks are meant to be broken.
No, it is. I mean, I would honestly rather be this week than next week.
Just for that. Listen, I love Kevin, but I'm thinking about this strategically. I may not have Hurts for the rest of the playoffs. Not only is he my team's namesake, this is going to hurt. He's also my fantasy wagon. The fact is I may have to pick up Gardner Minshew and rely on Geno Smith as my quarterback this week. And honestly, against the Chiefs' lackluster secondary, I'm feeling okay. But here's the problem. I'd rather go into it with the MVP, with one of the MVPs, and a guy who I know at least is good for at least one rushing touchdown. So at this point, Kevin, I'm fucking terrified of playing you in the finals, so go Pat.
Yeah, I was supposed to be my bye week. I was supposed to just relax, sip my drink, and enjoy. And instead, I saw Jonathan Taylor leave the game with an ankle injury, and Jalen Hurts is questionable. So in my money league, I had the buy-in. I now am going into the first week of playoffs for myself with no Jalen Hurts possibly and no Jonathan Taylor. So now my running backs are Latavius Murray, Cam Akers, and Brian Robinson, and I don't have a quarterback on my bench. Because when you have Jalen Hurts, why do you need another quarterback?
I mean, I would say go get Minshew Mania or maybe go get another quarterback.
I'm looking at, off the top of my head, I didn't even look at the waiver. This is just off of my head. I'm thinking Heineke or Gardner Minshew right now are probably the best ones available on the waiver. Geno Smith's there. I'm sweeping in, but. Oh,
well, obviously Geno's number 1, but Gardner's a good number 2 because the dude's never had receivers like this in his career. So he gets to chuck the ball at A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, who's back this week. Hand the ball off to Miles Sanders. And he proved last year in 3 games he can be efficient and throw the football. It's not really an issue. He proved that in Jacksonville. The thing is, you won't get the running ability of Hurts, but it's not like he doesn't have a fighting chance. It's not like you're just saying, okay, we're putting in Luke McCowan to get our ass handed to us. The Eagles have a shot. It's definitely going to be a more interesting game if Hurts doesn't play. Because now, this makes the Cowboys the heavy favorites, and it should be interesting to see how Philly does.
Hey, but we know what Dallas likes to do, when they're favored in a big game, with a lot of stuff on the line, big implications. We know what Dallas does best, at least, in my day, right? In the 23 years that I've been alive. So, hey man, Jared, don't get too, caught up in the fact that that Minshew's going to be playing and, all that, because I feel like Dallas could very easily, think about it. Last week, we all kind of agreed that Jacksonville, probably wasn't going to beat him. And, look how that turned out. A little bit of luck and there you go.
what cracks me up about all this is before I get on to the Sunday Night Football game, because we had a lot of wildness in the last couple minutes of that game last night. It's Eagles Cowboys is one of those rivalries, man. There's always something. It's never just their best versus our best. Every freaking year, it's somebody's injured, somebody's out, somebody's missing, and it's like, well,
I mean, exactly. All we have to do is go back to the previous, Cowboys Eagles game earlier this year where Dak was out, and that game was relatively close for quite a while. What was that? I think it was close up until maybe like halfway through the third quarter or something.
Yeah,
I want to say, and I mean. Yeah, and then the Eagles kind of blew away or took off, but I completely agree. I think it'll be a much closer game than people think, simply because Minshew, like you said, Jared. I mean, he's got all these weapons now, and Miles Sanders is going to run the ball well, so definitely going to be an interesting game. Don't see it being a blowout at all. I think it's going to be a very close game.
So I'm looking at my waiver, and it's not looking very promising. It's looking like a Gardner Minshew pickup. So I've got Deshaun Watson, who, obviously a couple years ago, this would have been like a how could he be on the waiver scenario, but he's not playing well the last 3 weeks fantasy-wise. You got Tyler Huntley, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Tannehill, Mac Jones, Heineke, Goff, Ripien, Matt Ryan, Desmond Ridder, and then you got Baker. Then the rest are all backups. Well, minus like Sam Darnold and Davis Mills.
So Trevor Lawrence is not available?
Trevor Lawrence is not available, no.
Because that was who I was thinking. I mean, I know he's available in a lot of leagues, maybe not after last week or I guess yesterday, but I mean, hey man, he's looking like he might. I was ripping on him pretty good at the beginning of the season, and now he's kind of looking like he's coming into his own.
Yeah, no, if he was there, I would have swooped him up immediately. But statistically right now, the best quarterback available is pretty much Zach Wilson, Deshaun Watson, or Davis Mills from production. I don't want either. And
you said Goff is available?
Goff is there.
So they've got the Panthers. I mean,
they do.
So that might be. And on the flip side, it's like Darnold's got the Lions. So, I mean, that might just be pick them. I don't know how you're feeling about it. I mean, I would look at Goff. I don't know.
I mean, if I had to pick from that list, I'd probably look at Goff. I mean, he's got 26 points against Minnesota, 21 against Jacksonville, and 17 against Buffalo. He did have 14 against us, but, I mean, we've got a pretty solid defense, so I'm not surprised that he had under 20, but Carolina's pretty weak. I think that could, especially when they're on a playoff hunt and they're in Carolina, the weather's going to be nicer. That's a look I'll take a look at, but I think I might roll the dice on Gardner. I don't know. Playoffs, man. If this was just regular season, I wouldn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is with the this is what sucks about the fantasy playoffs. When a quarterback goes down this late, it can sink your season. So right now, pray for me and Matt. That's basically it. But also, let's revisit the Commanders, man. They just they took a nice little L at the hands of the refs last night. Listen, the Giants played decent. I'm not gonna act like they didn't. They ran the football. They got after the quarterback, and they got really lucky when Terry McLaurin tried twice to get the guy's attention, and also that on that Brian Robinson touchdown, and that last pass was
clear pass interference. Yeah,
that was PI and a half. It's kind of karma that the Commanders got screwed on a game after we got screwed against them on a game from bad ref calls. So I find it kind of funny and ironic, but you know what? They're still a dangerous team. I still think the Giants are the worst team in the NFC East, but it's not really saying much. That's like saying you're the shittiest Ferrari, at least this season.
Yeah, I mean, I give credit to the Giants, too. I mean, Daniel Jones kind of had a Daniel Jones game, which was just average, 21-32 for 160 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns or anything like that. He relied on Saquon to get those for him. But, I mean, he played a clean game. He didn't turn the ball over. he used his receivers that he doesn't have. I mean, you got Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins and Saquon Barkley and Darius Slayton, who each caught 5 to 4 passes each. So guys are stepping up. They have nobody on offense, and they're still going to probably squeak into the playoffs. So shout out to their coaching and just everything like that. But they came prepared. They played a lot better. The defense kept them in check, and they did what they had to do. Now they got the 6th seed right now. I think the Commanders moved down to 7th seed.
Yeah. And now you got the Lions and Seahawks on the outside looking in. And now they are at a possibility of, like, sneaking in the back end, because the problem is, like, those last 4 seeds, Dallas made the playoffs. We all know it. It's a 4-team race for those last 4 slots. If you want to count the Packers, fine. But, like, dude, they might lose tonight. So we don't know.
Nah, you look at Baker Mayfield, he played pretty well last week, and he didn't even know the offense. So now you give him a full week to learn the offense a little more. I think it's just going to be dangerous.
I put down like a 7-leg parlay. It pays out like $2,000 on a $2 bet. I'm like, fuck yes, we ride. Listen, the last time I did one of those parlays, it was for the Eagles Giants, and I was 1 like bet short. I needed a Daniel Jones INT, and I would have gotten it. I was so mad. So, like, listen, it happens to the best of us. So we'll get into the Monday Night Football in a second, obviously. Any final thoughts on Sunday Night Football before we roll into the 6-pack review?
I thought D Jones was looking sharp, man. I know only $160, passing, whatever, but it seemed like, he was making throws. He was making big time throws, a lot of 3rd down conversions for the Giants. And maybe that's just because Dable is so good with the offense, and Saquon was able to run the ball well. But I mean, hey, they kind of seem like the type of team to me that could potentially knock someone off in the playoffs. I mean, maybe first round they get like a Tampa or someone, or I guess who's that 3 seed right now? That's not the Niners, is it?
I believe so. Niners are 10-4.
Let's see here. So I think it would be is it the Vikings? No. It is the Niners. Okay, yeah. Actually, I take that back. I don't see them beating the Niners. But if they did get a team like the Vikings, I don't know. I'm not sold on Minnesota completely. So I feel like maybe if things went their way, I think they could beat a team like Minnesota.
That's like the best thing about this right now is, like, with the way the playoffs line up, we've got about 17. I'm not saying like there's like 3 teams that could represent the NFC, but there's like 3 or 4 teams that could also get upset in that first that wild card round to be nuts.
Yeah,
this is the most balanced playoffs. We know who the three top tier teams are. It's Buffalo, it's KC, and it's Philadelphia. But then there's like the bunch of 2nd-tier teams: Dallas, Miami, Cincinnati,
San Fran,
Minnesota, that are all going to be in like dogfights their first round game. And you're just like, okay, that betting week, by the way, fellas, which will not be in part of the 6-pack, we're going to lose money on that week. I've already learned that, like, after the last 4 years of trying to like place bets and get my picks right, I will never get a single damn pick right in the wild card round. I just bet on my team. I maybe like say something for another one. I say, you know what? I'm going to lose a lot of money today because the wild card weekend is literally wild for a reason.
Totally agree, man.
All right.
There's going to be some upset, that's just like ridiculous. And I mean, it happens every year. Oh, yeah. And we're all just going to be sitting here scratching our heads, when Seattle beats like San Francisco,
which would be hysterical.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like Brock Purdy finally comes down from, cloud 9 and just has a game where he throws like 3 picks and it's just awful, right?
Well,
and they
Brock Purdy has
ball, and Geno's playing awesome, and something's going to happen.
Brock Purdy has to play Washington next week, so that should be an interesting game because Washington plays rough, and they just came off a rough loss. It should be interesting.
Right.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go over how bad I am at gambling and how Matt is kicking my ass in this picks competition. Without further ado, track the music. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to How Jared Lost His Money This Week. All right, first off, UCSA and Troy, this is why these teams aren't real football teams. How do you lose to a team that's named after a city-state that got smacked with a fake horse? You suck. UTSA? Like, what the hell? I thought you guys were the Roadrunners. You guys ran out of that stadium before the game started. Cincinnati, Louisville, I should know whenever I bet against an ACC team, I'm going to get screwed. Louisville wins. Matt got the point. Lions, Jets. Never bet against Dan Campbell when he's been told he might get fired. It's a dangerous man who likes biting kneecaps. He may also cry after the game. It sucks that you guys had to get a long field goal from Greg the Leg Zerline, but he went full Florida State, went wide left. Cowboys, speaking of off the foot, Cowboys, Jaguars. Dak, you realize throwing it to the guy as he's trying to cross the coverage is a bad idea, but Cedric Wilson trying to kick the ball up in the air is even dumber. Also, Rayshon Jenkins from the U, shout out, literally looked like a man running amongst boys because I forgot how big he was as a safety. That dude just was out. Bills and Finns. It's okay. Tua still can't win in the snow, but I don't think Buffalo is unbeatable. That wasn't that funny. It was just true. This one's more tragic. The Giants and the refs, whatever the hell the score was, Commanders less. I forgot the score off the rip before I made this joke, and I'm rolling with it. It doesn't matter what the score was. The Commanders were screwed the second they walked down that drive. Whether it was the Terry McLaurin call or the fact that I think Curtis Samuel was hugged harder than my mom hugs my nieces and nephews at Christmas. That's it, man. It's like they weren't getting wrapped up. And because Kelsey's a dick, my upset was not the Seahawks. My upset was the Falcons. It did not hit. Max Gibney was the Chiefs. His hit. Thank you for coming to TED Talk.
Like the little Ford F-150 music.
No, I need like the Arctic Monkeys riff and just like talking Sam Elliott voice. All right. That was bad. I really need a bounce back this week. Fuck. Even if my parlay some miracle hits tonight, I will never bitch. Matt, I'll buy you and Mason a jersey without tonight. If that hits.
I just did a quick 5-leg one, very small. I chose Rams to win, Baker to have over 200 yards passing, Rodgers to have over 195 passing, and then Christian Watson over 54.5 receiving with an anytime touchdown. So $5 pays 180.
Jesus. So I mean, at this point, like after how much money I had to spend on Christmas shopping today, I'm gonna be very sparing on my bets tomorrow on Wednesday when we put ours in. And also, like, the only one that really is gonna be affected is Eagles Cowboys, which will be in our 6-pack. That's just guaranteed. Also, we might just do whatever the fuck number we want. We might do 8 games for the 8 nights of Hanukkah. By the way, happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends and family out there. They started last night, I believe. And we are 5 days out of Christmas, 6 days out, 6 days. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? It's 7, 6. Math hurt Jared brain. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun 8-pack, whatever. I know I'm gonna be downing about 8 beers on Sunday night, on Saturday night. If my little cousin, he's a great kid. But he loves running his mouth when the Cowboys are on for some reason. It doesn't matter who he's playing. It could be his dad's team. He's not even a Cowboys fan. He's just a ball buster. And the problem is it'll be like freezing cold. I may lock him out of the house. I might just do it for like half a quarter. No socks, no problem. It'll be raining all day the day before in Southbury. So hell yeah. Just throw him right outside in the freezing rain with the ice and everything. I'm like, all right, you want to talk smack? Go sit on the porch. So it should be fun. All right, folks. We got Monday night tonight. I put down a ridiculous parlay. Matt put down a ridiculous parlay. We're gonna maybe see if we can give ourselves some good luck this time. We're not gonna say what they were. We'll say our picks, obviously.
I just said what it was.
I wasn't paying attention.
All right. Well, everybody else is gonna hear it, so.
Well, maybe it's good luck that I didn't hear it, Matt, because last week was fucking abysmal. Me and Matt lost so much money so fast. It's like, and it's like that South Park meme. Place to bet, and it's gone.
We lost a combined total of probably like $6 or $7, but it was just
Dude,
a
I
matter
lost
of every.
7 on those freaking live bets because DraftKings fudged and it basically said,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
hey, you know how you put $2 down on this live bet? It's 5 now." I was like, "Fuck." I lost like all my winnings from 2 weeks ago, literally in 1 second. I was like, "What the fuck, man?" But either way, live betting's awful. My buddy Dom, I don't know how he wins money on it, but he always tells me, "Go, Jared, it's all I win my money on." I'm like, "How? I get smoked on it."
It'd probably be like 10 minutes left in the game, and it's like Minnesota by like 40. He's like, all right, let me throw my life savings on the money line, and then it hits, and he makes like $100.
My boy Teddy made like he's in my fantasy league. He's a big Vikings fan. He made not my brother-in-law Teddy, Matt, the other one. He made like I think $60-$70 on like a $3 bet on the Vikings money line, like live bet, like mid game. And I was like, that's awesome, dude. That makes you that's around a beers or a date for a girl weekend. That's great.
Yeah,
So
my buddy put $10 down on it when it was halftime. It was plus 800. He put $10 down, so he won the what was it, $80? I think he get off that.
yeah, $80.
Yeah, so he won that. It was like that's quick $80 right there. Could tank a gas or two.
Hey, listen, the way gas is connected right now, that's 3 tanks gas.
I know.
For now.
307 right now down the road from me.
290. 290 over by my work in Brookfield.
Where do you work?
Brookfield.
It's too far, even for 290, whatever.
It's like 315 on the corner by my house.
Oh, up the road from me is literally 307. That's the best I'm going to do right now.
Fair. I paid $2.99 on Wednesday. I was hype as hell. But Mason, up in the Northeast, they charge you way too much for gas for no reason.
Yeah, see, when I'm in Norman, man, I pay nothing. I haven't seen Norman gas above 3 in like honestly since I've been there. So it's always insanely cheap.
Okay, so during the summer when me and Matt were paying almost $5 a gallon, what was it done by you?
In Houston, probably between like 350 and 4.
What was it in Norman?
Oh man, dude, it had to have been less than 350.
What
I wasn't
the
up
shit?
there much, but
Dude,
I was
on the
paying
way back to my job
$4.65.
interview, I think I put in $4.90. I was hype as hell. I found a place under $5.
got to move
Yeah, I
down
was
here,
paying
man.
$4.65.
I'm trying to.
That warm
I hate
weather.
the Northeast. It's disgusting up here. Like I'd be fine with snow. No, it's gonna rain for 2 days straight, then freeze. Like no, not snow, which is the combo of those two. No, just rain then freeze.
Yeah, that's bad, man. No fun.
Welcome to the shit box known as New England. All right, tonight's game. How I honestly think it's gonna go. I think the Rams with Baker are playing with way too much spunk. I think you give, like Matt said, another week of Baker in the offense. Ben Skoranek is the best tall white boy receiver I've seen since Brian Finneran, Madden throwback. You got Van Jefferson playing like 2019 Van Jefferson. You have Cam Akers and I think it's Kyrie Williams, whatever his name is.
Kyron
Williams. Yeah, I just screwed up. Kyron, I apologize. I really do. I literally looked at your name twice once. Either way, I think that the Rams will shock in their second primetime game in a row, will shock the Packers. Baker's had an entire 12 days to get his playbook now. If you count his day on the plane, it's 13 days. So, that being said, I think Baker with that offense, and yes, it's going to be in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. Baker also played in Cleveland for the past 4 or 5 seasons. He knows cold. I think it won't affect him at all because he just played in that shit box in the middle of Ohio for the past 6 years. And he played in Texas Tech. And Mason, you're from Texas. Doesn't it get, and as long as you're not in Houston, doesn't it get pretty freaking cold down there?
Yeah, man. I mean, in Lubbock, it's not a very nice place, but the weather is also very similar to probably what he experienced in Ohio. Maybe not as much snow, but very cold, very windy, kind of the same thing in Norman. Probably some freezing rain. So yeah, he's definitely he knows what he's doing when it comes to playing in cold weather. He's not one of these guys like Tua that has no experience playing in sub freezing temperatures. So I think he does fine.
And at the end of the day with the Packers right now, it's really just a bunch of names. I mean, they're not playing well. They're whatever the record is, 5-9 or whatever the amount of wins. They're not the same old Packers. They got a lot of young talent on that roster. It's going to take another year or so to kick in. But right now, it's just names. You got Aaron Rodgers, you got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Robert Tonyan. I mean, names on paper that might be like, I don't want to play them. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be the 2021 Packers, the 2020 Packers. With Devontae Adams and guys like that. So I really don't think it's going to be that crazy of a game for the Rams to win. I think they can win this game. They just got to play smart football and just lock down Rodgers, which Rodgers has not been playing like himself the last couple of games anyways.
You're exactly right, Matt. A very beatable team. A very beatable team that is, I kind of think, just lacking confidence. I mean, obviously Rodgers is always confident in whatever he does and whatever matchup he goes into. But thinking about it on the flip side, I mean, McVay's a good enough coach to win you any game where he has a capable quarterback, and that showed in last week's Thursday night game. Mayfield with less than 24 hours in LA comes in and wins him the game strictly because, he's got guts and so does McVay. And so I agree. I think this game could go either way. Obviously, you got to take the Packers. At home, I feel like, I don't know. What's the deal with the weather? Does anyone know what the weather is?
I can check right now. I believe it's cold.
Okay, so 14 degrees.
Holy
so it's going to be cold. No, let's see here. Snow. Yeah, so pretty low chances of snow. I guess it maybe snows after the game is over is what I'm seeing. But 14 degrees, not fun for anybody. LA plays in a dome, so Mayfield will be fine. Skoranek will be fine playing in Indiana for Notre Dame, but I don't know how the rest of these guys are going to fare. I just feel like I got to take Green Bay. That's the safe call.
That's the safe call. That's why they're favored. Also, they're at home. I'm taking LA because, one, I'm a degenerate. Two, I would love to see, I want the Baker Mayfield redemption story to continue. I want this train to keep rolling. So I guess it's more of a personal reason, but also I think with this much time with McVay's like, dude, if Stafford retires, we may have found our next quarterback. We had to pay nothing for him.
Right. Because, God knows that they've got no draft picks. So they're definitely not taking anybody in the draft.
Even if they throw Baker 3 years and he's a solid QB.
Yeah. Baker's the type of guy, you're exactly right. If you have Baker Mayfield for 2 years, you got Cooper Kupp coming back next year. Van Jefferson, Allen Robinson hasn't been great this year prior to the injury, but he's not like a chump, he's not like bad. So, whole offseason with Mayfield working with those guys, the O-line isn't bad either. The defense is obviously good. Who's to say that, even though they're in a tough division, who's to say that they couldn't improve and be much better next year? This season's shot, obviously.
Is it that tough now? You have the Niners and the Seahawks who are decent, but the problem is they both have holes in the armor. The Cardinals are an absolute dumpster fire. I think they're the most screwed franchise in that entire division. They're stuck with Kyler's contract. They have a bunch of injury-prone skill position players, and they just threw Steve Keim an extension. He's on leave, and now you have Cliff Kingsbury who's on extension, and he's terrible. So
right.
The way back isn't as bad as it is for, say, I don't know, the Broncos or some of these other teams who are literally looking up at a shit slide coming their way.
Yeah, definitely. Because you think about it, I guess theoretically San Francisco could go out and maybe try to get a free agent quarterback like a Brady or someone, right? if they're not okay with Lance or something, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, is Geno Smith really going to do what he's doing this year, next season? Is he going to be this good, this sharp, in 12 months time? Who knows, right? So, it's almost like that entire division is like, both of those teams could, talking about San Francisco and shoot, maybe even Seattle, maybe they could end up winning the Super Bowl, but they're a lot closer than I feel like everyone thinks.
I feel that. All right. So moving on, we are going to move into everyone's favorite game, the 25-second game. Mason, of course, is the king. This man cannot miss. Well, at least he couldn't last week. And then he took a week off. So we're going to find out today how good he is kicking off Thursday Night Football with, oh my God, I can't remember. Oh, Seahawks and Niners. This game was so boring and terrible and awful that I literally stopped watching. So, yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah, for me, Brock Purdy continues to impress me for a 7th-round Mr. Irrelevant rookie. The Seahawks continue to plummet and just pretty much just had their playoff chances disappear. So shout out to the Niners, and it's just interesting to see what they can do with their quarterback issues.
Yeah, Brock Purdy just continues to impress, kind of like you said, Matt. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe this is just sort of a testament to how good a player can be when you put him around a bunch of all-pro players. And so fairy tale keeps on going for him. McCaffrey, Kittle went off, and Seattle just looked awful.
There you go. Still 8 seconds to burn. Perfect. All right. We're going to start off in the Windy City with Philadelphia and Chicago. This game hurt a little bit. Like, it sucked watching Hurts get injured. This game was ugly. 2 interceptions. The Bears also play every team ugly. They make games ugly. That's how they keep games close. And congrats to Justin Fields for 1,000 yards.
Oh, we're talking about that. I just completely zoned out. I had to fix the TV issue.
I also tell B I'm sorry. It wasn't like it was screaming loud. I was hearing voice in the back. I didn't want to throw off the mic settings.
No, I heard it too. Fields is looking like he might be one of the better quarterbacks in that entire class, which is just surprising to me because I didn't think he was going to go into the Bears, but he continues to play well. I'd love to see him become more of a passer rather than a rusher, but I know right now that he's got to work with what he's got to work with, which is nothing. So shout out to Justin Fields having a good game for himself, but Eagles obviously staying at top as they have been.
This is kind of how your Super Bowl winners develop, I feel like. Winning these games that are tight, they come down to the wire. Maybe the opponent's not as good, kind of like the Bears, but you know what? This is good practice for the Eagles because I'll tell you what, this is not going to be the last close game that they play this season. Now that Hurts is going to maybe miss 1 to 2 games, but definitely in the playoffs. So this is, not only for Hurts, but just the entire team. This, I feel like, is very good practice for what's going to end up coming for the rest of the season. So a good win by Philly, and Fields is looking very promising.
One note on that, I just that run by Fields was just absolutely incredible, and I just was screaming at my television like, dude, and you forget. Fields is huge. He's not a skinny guy. He's jacked. And also, I find it ironic that the 2 best quarterbacks in that class, since they were like high school freshmen, are the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Just saying. I'm just gonna sit here and drink my tea. But all right, moving on. Saturday games, because I completely forgot those happened for a second. We're talking Colts Vikings. How do you blow a 33-point lead? You run the ball. Zach Moss literally can truck stick a Mack truck if you wanted to. Yeah, it sucks you lost JT, but Matt Ryan's not a terrible quarterback. I'm not even blaming Matt Ryan here. This is all on Jeff Saturday and those play callers. Like, their offense shut down. They scored 3 points in the second half. Good job by the Vikings. You like that?
Yeah, I'm praying for our buddy DJ right now.
Oh, no,
Matt Ryan
he's done.
Matt Ryan is now responsible for probably the two worst blown leads in the entire NFL era: the 28-3 Super Bowl lead, and now the 33-0 regular season lead. He can't escape these. It's not the Falcons anymore. It's just solely him.
Yep. Mace.
Yeah, man. What can you say, dude? I mean, you got to feel bad for Matt Ryan. I mean, you really do. Like, seems like a really good guy, and he's just a choke artist. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. I don't know how you blow this game. You know what? I got to give the Vikes their flowers, man. You know, I've been ripping on them for the past couple of weeks, saying that they're frauds. I still think they're frauds, but you know what? It takes some guts to come back from 30 down. I can't remember what it was, and win a football game. So you know what? Congrats. Cheers to you, Vikings, and enjoy it while it lasts.
All right. I'll make this one easy. This is the game everyone forgot it happened on Saturday. Browns, Ravens. I have a participation trophy to you, Cleveland. You won a game with Watson that wasn't against his former team, against a slew of backups. Baltimore's dead in the water. Like they're literally got a couple holes shot through them at this point.
Yeah, to make this short and sweet, Deshaun Watson continues to play mediocre football, still trying to shake the rust off, and the Ravens are probably going to rush Lamar Jackson back next week because now they're out of the division race and they're in the wild card again. So, yeah, it's really not much to say about a game that has 16 combined points.
I'm going to take this opportunity to speak to Mark Andrews directly and specifically. I need you to wake up, Mark Andrews. Ever since your injury, you've been pathetic in fantasy, and I need you to wake up because I've got multiple leagues that I have him in, and I'm in the playoffs, and I need him to wake up. So I guess what that means is I need Lamar Jackson back on the field as soon as possible because that's his favorite target to throw to. You know, both these teams are just like total question marks. Obviously, like when you don't have Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, it's not going to be good. So they need Lamar back, and the Browns are just lackluster and mediocre.
Fair. All right. Matthew. Oh, you
Are
win
you
already. Yeah, sorry. Brain not functioning correctly. Bills, Dolphins. Let's rock and roll with this one. Bills are still the best team in the NFL, I believe. I mean, I don't know. There's three teams. They're all rotating. Depends on the week. They're the best team in that division. I think the Dolphins are a solid team, but I think the Bills do have that home field advantage that makes them a pain in the ass to deal with. And I think Miami gave 110% and they still lost. What are you going to do?
Yeah, same. Bills are definitely the best team in the AFC still. Miami, so does anybody else think Miami's just going back to old Miami? Like they start off hot, even with the Brian Flores there, and then they wind up winning like 9 games, and then they just cool off, and then that is it. So right now we're 8-6, and it looks like they could be heading down that same path. We'll see how they do the rest of the year. Shout out to Tua, kept them close in there, but we all saw what happened with the game once the snow started to hit. It became a Buffalo game. So not surprised that Buffalo's won, just surprised that it was only by 3 points.
Fair enough.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Allen is just like on this other planet. He is playing at an unbelievable level. And if he keeps it up, it's not even that they seem like the best team in the league to me. What I just think about is who is going to beat them. Who has the capacity to beat them in a 4-quarter game in the playoffs, especially when they're at home? So I don't see – it's like I said, I don't even see that they're the best team in the league. I think the Eagles are just as good. I just don't see how someone else, barring injuries, can take down this team because Allen just seems like he is just on this like God level right now.
Well, fellas, I have a problem. I just realized it's in fantasy. So we're moving on. The Seahawks kickoff is at 1. Eagles Cowboys is at 4:30. They better let me know if Hurts is playing by freaking by Saturday at noon, or I'm in trouble.
Oh, you'll know. I don't think it's going to be one of these game time decision type things. I think, to be honest with you, Jared, I think they just sit him out of precaution because it's like you're making the playoffs unless you literally lose out and the Cowboys win out. You win the division, right?
Isn't I think the Cowboys need to lose one more game, and we need to win one more game, and that's it.
So okay, so yeah, so I mean, I just why rush it? I mean, you know what I mean?
It's more for the culture and more for the way he play and the way that team is wired. Like he's their motor. Like yeah, their defense is incredible, but like when it comes down to it, that's their captain. Like I think Jalen Hurts is the most captain I've seen an Eagles quarterback in my entire life, maybe since like the Michael Vick Eagles teams, where like he was the motor of that team's like persona. Like he was the guy. So I think even the early McNabb years before the partying incident right before the Super Bowl, wink wink. But my biggest thing with this, I don't know, but it's going to be interesting going forward how they're going to play this one. All right, Saints Falcons. All I'll say is this: Desmond Ritter's not terrible. People got to chill. It was his first start, and yeah, damn Saints are making our draft pick worse. Start losing.
Yeah, interesting game. Both these teams are 5-9. You got the and then you have the Buccaneers who are sitting at the top of the division at 6-8, I believe it is. So this is any team's division right now. Desmond Ridder played okay, but like you said, first start. Interesting to see what will happen with that division down the stretch, but I think Desmond Ridder is just going to be just fine. Just give him another game or two to work with.
Yeah, man, this division is like a total train wreck. I guess this is kind of what happens when you've got like a senior citizen and then just like three very sub-average. Well, I guess like a rookie, another, I guess, senior citizen and Andy Dalton, and then Sam Darnold, who's just like, just kind of whatever. Those are your four quarterbacks of each of the teams in this division. And I don't know if you could pay me to watch one of these like NFC South games, man. I don't usually tune in. I don't really check in. I don't have any players from any of these teams on fantasy. So I steer clear. Didn't watch it.
I don't
checking
either.
the box score here. It just seemed like a snoozer.
This is no NFC South division fantasy team this year, guys. Like I refuse to look at them.
Right. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Matt, I got to do this to you, buddy. I'm sorry. Jets, Lions. I will say this. The Jets did not play a bad game just besides having a legally blind man at quarterback. My favorite thing about this was that the Lions can win an ugly game against a very well-coached team with a blind quarterback, and they can win a shootout against a guy who can only play in 1 o'clock games. The Lions are a good team. They will win their division next year outright, but I said they have a shot at winning 10 games this year. This still could happen, which is hysterical to me. Because my one of our listeners, Tom, he's a dentist. He goes to my gym, and I bet him before the year $20 the Lions win 10 games. Getting a little nervous there, Tom.
It's possible.
I know, right?
To try and make it as quick as possible, I thought Zach Wilson played a lot better than I thought he was. I thought he showed progression in the last couple of weeks that when he was sitting, he was making some better throws out of the pocket. He made some wild, spectacular throws. He had a couple 40-yard passes to CJ Uzomah, a couple 30-yarders to Garrett Wilson, had like a 50-something yarder to Jeff Smith. So he kept us in the game. He was playing crazy. The first half looked like a whole different quarterback. Second half comes around, starts to play like old Zach Wilson. Was not making the throws you need to make. When he's in the pocket, a clean pocket, he's missing slant routes by like a mile. So it was just absolutely insane to see the easy throws that he couldn't make, but he can make the wild 4th and 10 you throw for 45 yards to get us into the field goal position. So it was an exciting game. It was just a mess, bad throws, bad decisions. Coaching wasn't good that game. Time management, clock management wasn't good. So the Lions took advantage of that, and the Jets didn't after all those penalties on the line. So we're all sitting at 7-7 right now. Now the Jets have to win out to even hope that they get some sort of 15% playoff chance.
There you go.
Yeah, man. If you're an not Eagles, if you're a Jets or a Lions fan, I feel like you have to be, even if you missed out on the playoffs this year, you have to be very optimistic about the future, right? Um, Maybe Zach Wilson's not the guy for the Jets, but with Brees Hall coming back and everyone just sort of being able to work together for another offseason, I feel like you have to be optimistic about seasons to come. And the same goes for Detroit. Maybe Goff isn't the guy, but if you're able to have maybe one more good draft class and pick up a better quarterback, you're looking at a team that could be very good.
There you go. We all got to get a little better with the time. We've all gone over 3 or 4 times today. It's okay. It's been a long weekend. We're almost at Christmas. Everyone's a little happy for the holidays. I also think we should save our top 10 list for the Wednesday show. I think it'd be fun.
I'm down.
All right. So we'll just do that. All righty. Steelers, Panthers. I didn't even know this game was happening. These two teams' existence does not matter to me. That is all.
I would rather watch the entire first season of like Little House on the Prairie than have to have watched this game. Sam Darnold sucks. I don't care what the stats are. He's going to be old Sam Darnold very soon. Mitch Trubisky should not be a starting quarterback in the NFL, despite his stats and everything as well. I didn't even watch the game, but I'm just going to say it was shitty. So that's all I'm going to say. Mike Tomlin's going to get his first under 800.
On Red Zone.
Mike Tomlin's going to get his first under 500 season this year, unfortunately.
There it is. All right. Mace.
Yeah. Just a snoozer. Like, you don't need to watch this game, man. If you're a neutral fan, just don't. Save your time. Watch a different game. If you're a fan of one of these two teams, man, I feel sorry for you. Just like, I guess the Steelers have some players who are good. Najee's promising. Obviously, Minka Fitzpatrick's good. But for Carolina, man, I mean, you gave away your best player to the Niners, and it's just not looking good at quarterback. So I don't know where you go. You just fired your coach. Got to go get another coach this summer. So, yeah, just a boring game.
All righty. Cowboys, Jags. The Jags gave the Cowboys the boot. I love walk-off touchdowns. They are just electric factory. It was really cool how it ended. I think the Jags might win this division, and that's what's fucking terrifying to me. I said this in our NFL preview, and Matt goes, "All right, we're writing this down for posterity." And I'm like, they might win 10 games. They're not going to win 10 games, but they might win 9 and win the division. And that's horrifying to think about. The Southern division is terrible this year,
especially when they were 2-5 before. Make it short and simple. Trevor Lawrence is hot. The Jaguars are hot, and the Cowboys and Dak Prescott right now are not. Dallas has the playoff clinch. Jaguars are 6-8, still in the hunt. But shout out to Trevor Lawrence. He's been playing a lot better football these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. Cowboys are. I wasn't exactly right. I did say that they were going to win out and have a first-round exit. Only now, after this game, they're going to win out and still have that first-round exit. So I guess it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. But, I don't know how people still continue to show belief in Dak Prescott. I just don't get it. With all of these weapons, with this running back core, with this wide receiving core, I just don't understand how you can continue to lie to yourself, Cowboys fans, and tell me that this is your guy, that this dude is going to win you a playoff game or win you the Super Bowl, whatever. So I love seeing Dallas lose. It makes me very, very happy.
I don't think, except for Cowboys fans, I don't think anybody's actually happy to see Dallas win. I lost a point on it, and I was happy. Like, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, fuck it, fuck the Cowboys. Right. All right, Chiefs, Texans. Damn it, Houston! Come on! This would have been hysterical. Also, I swear, I think there was a bounty on Juju's head. Some of the hits he was taking yesterday were a little brutal. There was 2 or 3 he took over the middle. I'm like, dude, this guy, somebody wants this guy dead. But also, dude, shout out to Dougie Mills for just making every game a heart wrencher.
Yeah, that was going to be the third NFL gimme game I would have lost if that somehow happened. I don't know how. I don't. There's really nothing to talk about that game. I don't know how the Texans almost beat the Chiefs the way that they did. But shout out to the Texans because the last 2 weeks they've had a spread of like 14 and 17 and a half, and they've covered both of them within like one possession. So Texans they're fighting hard, but they're
cover
going to be
kings,
back in
baby.
square one. Yeah, they're going to be back to square one next year.
Fuck yeah. All right, Mace.
Oh yeah, man. Davis Mills, what is up, brother? 3 total touchdowns, 121 passing. Could have won this freaking game, man. What is up? So weird. Last 2 weeks they've been in the mix. Should have won in Dallas, and should have probably won last week. So hopefully, I don't know. The Texans are such a train wreck that I try to avoid watching any second of their games. But I guess that's a point of optimism if you're a Texans fan.
There you go. All righty. Cards, Broncos. Once again, I didn't know this game was. I knew this game was on. I just was like, I don't care. It's whose backup's better at this point. Broncos 24, Cardinals 15. Next. Anybody got anything to say about this? We can skip this one, guys.
Not really much. Just if somebody were to tell you this game was going to consist of Brett Rippey and Trace McSorley and Colt McCoy, I would have turned it off immediately. But wouldn't have thought it. I probably would have believed you. But there's really not much to talk about. The Cardinals don't have a quarterback. These two combined for 3 interceptions. I'm just waiting for Nathaniel Hackett to get fired. That's all.
Anything on this, Mace?
4 total picks from all quarterbacks.
Beautiful.
Period.
Absolutely beautiful.
End of story. I don't know why you would, like, as a neutral fan, like, what are you doing? Like, if you're watching this game, yeah, I'm sure I didn't watch a second of it. I'm sure it was just awful.
Dude, when you know a game's bad when Red Zone doesn't put a single fucking point of it on the damn screen. I think I saw it on Red Zone once. I was like, oh my God, that's a game they're playing? I thought this was NFL Films. All right. Patriots, Raiders. I'll make this. Try not to make this as painful as watching Jacoby Myers just chuck the ball right at Chandler Jones and then giving him the stiff, giving Mac Jones the stiff arm of God. Trivia question. Fun fact. I'm going to be using that picture as the Christmas card for my Raiders fan uncle. That was the most insane way to end the game. That's it for me. That's all I got. Like, what the hell? Also, thanks shout out to Ramondre Stevenson and Darren Waller for both scoring touchdowns.
I just wanted to shout out Jacoby Myers for finally having a worse lateral than Brandon Marshall did in 2015 when we went to the game. So thankfully that
was right about time we sobered up too. That's the best part.
Yeah. It was a tough fought game by the Patriots, and like I said before, I'll make it short and sweet because we already talked about it. I refuse to believe that Bill Belichick called that type of play. Interesting. Shout out Willie McGinnis, who was just arrested in L.A. Don't know why yet, but I just got that on my phone.
Just got
that on my phone.
Was arrested.
Yeah, that's it. Patriots losing. Willie McGinnis is in jail.
Yeah, so I heard a very interesting take this morning as I was waking up. You know, of the 20 years of dominance that the Patriots had, I feel like this is sort of the culmination of feeling like you're too good for everyone else, falling in love with your system, having family members like Steve Belichick on the coaching staff and having the defensive coordinator as the offensive coordinator and just kind of thinking about this game is, it's just football and things take care of itself and all of that. And I just really sincerely hope as a Patriots fan that this season as it is, it's just sort of a wake up call for everyone in the organization to just forget everything that's happened in the past, because that's over, that's gone. It's never happening again. And just wake up. And try to actually build this thing up from the ground and just simply do better. I mean, it's awful. Very frustrating game.
So what I'm watching right now is TMZ reported that Willie McGinnis was arrested for a felony assault. So I'm watching him. He's walking up to this guy. He's in a nightclub.
And he just punches him, yeah.
Oh, so him and 3 guys, what it looks like. So him and 3 guys just absolutely just fuck this guy up. And there's a 4th dude just comes out of nowhere. I don't even know which one is him because there's literally 4 guys.
Yeah, and is your video on black and white too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I tell you they beat the ever loving shit out of this dude.
Like it is like graphic, man. Like they just absolutely destroyed this guy. I don't know. I mean, dude, you have to think about like what did this guy do to Willie McGinnis and his crew to deserve that kind of beatdown? Like,
I mean, the dude's
Willie McGinnis is not a young guy either.
Right.
He's like 49 years old.
Right. And he's
oh man, this guy's pants are all the way at his knees. Oh, poor guy. He's getting beat up and his pants are down. And yeah, that was wild. So he's arrested on a felony assault for that big ambush in a nightclub. This video, honestly,
NFL preview tonight.
He got beat up so bad. I would put that video probably at top of like when Alvin Kamara beat the shit out of that dude in that club. Except
the one that never got him an ounce of a suspension.
Yeah, except this one is worse because it involves 4 or 5 guys on one guy.
There. All right. Now to the land of disappointments. Titans and Chargers. This game is more unfortunate than the fact that both these teams are so talented, but yet, actually, no, I take that back. Derrick Henry's talented, and the Chargers are talented. Mike Vrabel is a great head coach. The problem is his GM, John Robinson, might have been one of the dumbest human beings on the planet. I reiterate back to the Friday meme. How do you get fired on your day off? Chargers are unfortunate, but Mike Williams is a big-ass guy, and he's hard to cover. That's why they're able to get that field goal off.
Yeah. This is Titans-Chargers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I really was upset with this game because I obviously wanted the Chargers to lose. Just I needed everybody to lose, but Titans are coming back down to earth. Shout out to the guy that told me I didn't know what I was talking about on TikTok because I said the Titans weren't supposed to be in it this year. How does that look now there, buddy? But they're looking like they could give this division away, like you were saying before. I mean, you got the Jaguars that are creeping up on them. Titans are coming back down to the reality. They did not have a good team to start with, and it's really starting to show.
See, my biggest thing with the Titans is going to have a losing record, and there's a realistic chance here. So I'm like so ecstatic right now. Last year, I shot 3 out of 10. I shot 3 out of 3. I said the Eagles are going to make the playoffs. The Seahawks were going to finishing last in the West or second to last, whatever it was. I think the Jets would have 5-6 wins. Oh, it was 2 out of 3 because the Jets lost their last game, and I was fucking pissed about it. But usually those big bowl predictions they usually hit. So 2 for 3, baby. Let's go. So far. The last one we won't know for a while. Mace, Titans, Chargers.
Yeah, man. Herbert, bro. Like, I am a huge fan. I think he's great. I think he could be as good as Josh Allen. But it's like, 28 for 42, 313, 2 picks. 2 picks against a team who is, just not good. So this is this his third or second year? Second, right?
Third.
Okay. I mean, this is when it's starting. You sort of are supposed to feel like it's all coming around. And I just feel like with Herbert, I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if it's Staley. But he's got to pick it up soon. I mean, hopefully they make the playoffs. I like the guy a lot. But, I mean, golly, he's been disappointing this season.
All righty. Bucks, Bengals, I'll make this fast, just like the chances of Tom getting another Super Bowl are depleting. The Bengals are a good team. This game was ugly, but then the Bengals started being an actual Super Bowl level team and kicking the Bucks down, stomping them right down back into the hole. The Gio Bernard fake punt, like, there were reporters giving him shit for it. That video actually kind of pissed me off a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, it happens. It's football. I watched, Kyle Williams from the 49ers drop 2 punts against the Giants, giving them a shot at the Super Bowl. If he doesn't drop those punts, we don't want to talk about Brady having like 8-9 rings. Freaking if Jalen Mills doesn't push Julio out of bounds, we're talking about Brady having 10 rings or 12. So it's like, it happens, guys. Like, it's football. So that's why I know it's a little long, but I wanted to defend Giovanni Bernard because that reporter's a dick.
Yeah, that was a wild game for Brady to have like those 3 or 4 interceptions in the second half. Shout out to the Bengals, who were once 0-2 on the season, are now 10-4. So they've gone on an amazing stretch. I think this is the Bengals team we all thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. So now they're coming together at the most perfect time ever. They're 10-4. They just took the division, and they're following it up next week, and they've got to play the Patriots, which it's going to be a very tough game for both teams because the Patriots are no easy team to walk over and win. But kudos to the Bengals for pulling it together at the second half of the season and taking that division right now.
Bengals, man, it's kind of like you said, Matt. It's all coming together right in front of us. The only thing I worry about is their final 3 remaining games. At New England, home versus Buffalo, home versus Ravens. And theoretically, I mean, you go 2-1, you go 0-3, or sorry, 1-2, 0-3. So you said the division is locked up?
No, I'm saying they just took the division right now.
Okay.
They've got a 1-game lead against the Ravens right now. They're 10-4, and the Ravens are 9-5.
Gotcha.
So the Ravens have 9 wins does not compute to me. I feel like they should have way more losses.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, Bengals looking sharp, but hey, man, you play those 3 teams, dude, like not easy at all. So we'll just have to see. I think the Bengals are a very good team. Could maybe wind up in the Super Bowl again, but these last 3 weeks will be a very fit test to see if they are up to it.
Ravens will finish 11-6. You heard it here first. And Mike Tom will have a losing season because they will lose to the Ravens in 2 weeks. And boom, there it is. There's the kill shot. We've been waiting for it. There's the kill shot. So
I forgot that it was this time of the year where there's like 10 games on Saturday and there's only 3 games on Christmas Day.
Yeah, so it's gonna get a little wild out here, boys.
Oh man, these games suck.
Nah, yeah.
Oh god,
what, the Christmas Day games?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
if you hate your
thing,
family,
though,
if you hate your family, you're not gonna have fun watching these games. You got Packers, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Bucks, Cardinals.
Packers, Rams,
and the night game is terrible on Monday night. You got Chargers, Colts. Holy shit!
The Packers Finns is the only game that could maybe be promising.
Even though the Packers might get eliminated tonight, so it's like,
wow, man, if you
Jordan
hate
Love
talking to your family,
let's do it.
If you hate talking to your family on holidays, you're gonna have nothing to watch on TV.
Oh my god, this is atrocious. Oh lordy, I mean, well, I'm gonna be around family, so I won't really be watching this anyway. But wait. Actually, no, wait. Rams Broncos might be interesting because Russ played pretty well in that last game before he got his bell turned into jelly. And Baker, another game in that system, might be a fun game. I would say that the 4:30 game might get interesting.
There's optimism.
Listen, you gotta be optimistic somewhere. There's gotta be at least one good game. The Christmas Eve night game looks great. Raiders Steelers actually should be fun.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Maybe.
Commanders 49ers, Falcons Ravens, Pats Ben. That's not gonna be a good game. I'm sorry, Mason. Giants Vikings should get interesting. Chiefs Seahawks, high scoring game. Eagles Cowboys is gonna just be interesting. Texans maybe getting a win against the Titans. Maybe they put it together finally. I don't know. I'll take the Texans to cover. Fuck it.
That'll be a game where the Texans go from covering the spread very closely on the Cowboys and the Chiefs, almost beating both teams, and then go into Tennessee and lose by like 13.
Yeah, they'll choke it somehow, man. It'll be a tight game up until the end, like the last 2 weeks, and then they'll find a way to sell right at the end.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. Quick question before we head out. Did you finish your Christmas shopping yet?
Oh, I finished a while ago. I'm waiting for these packages to still fucking come in. I'm getting all these emails saying, delayed shipping. We've updated you to expedited shipping, no cost to you. I was like, dude, I ordered these things 3 weeks ago. What the fuck's taking so long? It's only in California.
I've got one thing left, and it's on its way. And everything else is either behind me on that shelf, tucked in this corner over here, or in the freezer behind me. So I think I'm all good unless somebody goes, "Oh, hey, what are we getting for Kevin for Christmas?" Like, fuck.
Yeah, her family just sprung up on us that she wants to do a Yankee swap, so we have to go get like a $10 gift and like do a swap. So I'm gonna get some fucking $10 wine and watch everybody just like fight over it.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family does like a Secret Santa, so everybody who's over the age of, all of us are over the age of 18, except for the one great grandchild. So he's not buying anybody anything, but the rest of us all. And my grandmother, obviously, because she gets everyone a gift, but the rest of us were all doing a Secret Santa swap for like $50 or whatever. So I did most of my shopping on Friday for that one. My dad's side of the family, everyone gets each other a gift. So my mom's side, so like my aunts and uncles were pretty easy, and my grandmother's been the one paying the butt, but I'm almost done with that one, and then my uncle's gift's on the way. So. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you Wednesday for the Korner booth Christmas party. The rules of this are simple because I don't feel like going through everything. Comment on the damn post, and it can't just be like, "Hey, hi, we're here." A take, talking shit to one of us, something. If you comment on the post, you're automatically entered to win the $30 Nike gift card. The three of us will pay evenly $10 each, or at least two of us will, or one of us will, depending on how bad this week goes for me. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. We hope you have a great week leading up to Christmas. We'll see you Wednesday for a live edition of the Quarter with Pregame with special guests Scott Kaiser and Cruz Oxenrider. We'll be talking all things Christmas, and football and awesomeness. So, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you stopping by. Have a good night.